everybody, and welcome to Survivor with Jamie, Jack, and Colleen. My name is Colleen.
I'm Jamie.
I'm switching my vote.
Welcome, everybody. I apologize we're a few minutes late. I have a sick kid who escalated. The illness escalated at 6:55, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not starting in 5 minutes. I need some extra time to cool this child's temperature down." But all is well now. So, thank you for your patience. We're here to talk about Survivor season 45 finale. Yay!
Woo-hoo!
All right, D1. We can all go home.
Shocker.
Shocker. This season really hasn't disappointed, right down to like the emotion in the finale and the I mean, that was $1 million mistake by Katora, right? Changing
my
her
God,
vote.
Yes.
There were a lot of mistakes towards the end, like the last 7 or 8 votes.
Yeah, it's like everybody except for D, like fumbled the ball,
And that's why she won.
Yep. She had Austin wrapped around her finger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, up until he believed. Oh, but D didn't say anything.
Oh, I know. Well, okay, let's try to go in somewhat sequential-ish order here. For the first time ever, I actually did not take notes because I figured I'd watch it again today. And then I had a migraine, which I know is like an every other week occurrence with me. I should probably get that looked out, but I
Maybe
did not watch it, but I remember enough. Or rewatch it rather. We have Sherry and Shandy in the chat. Hello. Yeah. Okay. So who went out at 5? Oh, Mama J.
Yeah.
I don't know. We should look at the votes list on my exiting and see who went when.
Spoiler alert. Jamie got a perfect freaking score.
Really?
She did. Her winner's pick was D, so she got 10 points for that. And then, as far as I know, I'm skipping ahead. She had Julie, Couture at 4, Jake at 3, Austin at 2, and D at 1.
Yeah. When Julie said she wouldn't switch her vote and vote D out, I go, all right, D's gonna win. I go. What do you think? You can only take loyalty so far.
Right, exactly.
You're there to win the game. I go, oh my God.
And they had even said, when we get to 5, all bets are off.
Yeah. And she just said maybe she felt she owed D something because D saved her, but D saved her because she needed Julie. That's the only reason she saved her. It wasn't out of loyalty. She needed
Julie.
Julie.
Did say she was her second mom now.
Yeah, that's great. But still.
I feel like one mom is enough.
Yeah, if you want to win the game, you got to play the game, and she did not. I go, no, you have to stop worrying about Jake voting you one time. I go, Austin's voted for you 3 times.
All right, I wanted to be like, Julie, don't you have kids at home?
Yeah,
that you're doing this for?
I said,
come on now.
God, what are we doing? I go. No, I go. Austin's not going to vote for D. Julie's not going to vote for D. They had a chance to get her out at 5, but Katura said, I'm going to switch my vote after I made him swear on his nanas, whatever he calls her, his grandma's.
Nana.
Yep. I've said, what are we doing?
I truly could not believe that. But, I'm glad that she didn't switch her vote to Jake.
That's what I thought she was. That's what
I thought too.
Well, D did say that her relationships were her strategy. That was her strategy. That going in, like she was just going to try to have these relationships. But if that's the truth, that works for her. It's literally how she got to where she is. I mean, yes, she had to win immunity when it counted and stuff, but is the relationships. They all kept her protected for reasons we don't understand.
Austin's downfall started when he told D about the plan to get Julie out. That was his biggest mistake. Probably.
I think that he could have won if he had not done that.
Yeah, I think he easily could have won.
I didn't realize.
Julie wouldn't have been there to help D in the votes. That's why she needed D. D needed Julie to keep her, and she knew Austin wasn't going to vote against her.
Yep.
So that's 3 votes. I mean, 2 votes that you have not going your way. So I don't know. I just kept thinking, oh my God, these people, and then they all, who knew they were a couple? Almost everybody raised their hand. I'm like going, okay, what's rule number 1 when there's a couple?
Break it up.
One of them out.
Break it up.
Well, that was so funny when Jake was like, "What? You were?" I mean, he's one of the people getting the SIA money this year, right? Did they do that today?
I haven't seen it.
I was kind of out of commission with my head.
I know Fishbeck tweeted, "Nobody should cry that much on Survivor." Hashtag Jake. That's what he said. So
well, Albert was welcoming, Albert from Sophie's season. Albert, pick that up.
Yeah.
He was tweeting at Jake, "Welcome to the 0 vote club."
Again, we say this every season. Just go to 2. It's such a waste of time to have the 3 people on there.
Yep.
I mean,
right? Because there's always a 0 vote fight.
There's always a 0 vote, and we knew Jake wasn't going to win because Jake's biggest problem was Jake should have realized, okay, I don't need to make that big move. I just need to get rid of the people that are the threats, the people I can't beat. He's
right. This, for as much as this episode was Dee's win, this episode really was just showing like that's the way it goes sometimes with Jake, because that poor dude. I mean, all he wanted to do was have one successful thing, and it ended up being fire, which, as Sherry points out in the chat, I did call it.
Now he had like this whole episode for him was just like a roller coaster because he started out kicking butt.
And as you tweeted at me, it was Lucy with the football.
Yeah.
It's like
because he started out, he got the advantage, and he had this mnemonic device where he was using Survivor winners, which I don't know if mnemonic device counts for that, but you all know what I mean.
I was like going, okay, I couldn't remember.
What was it? JT Gabler Denise?
Yeah, it was JT
Gabler.
JT D Denise Gabler. Gabler was 45. 40.
It was 60, 25, 40.
44.
44, yeah, or something like that. No, 43. Gabler won 2 seasons ago.
Really? Is it that long?
Yep.
Last year was Jam Jam. I feel like we talk about this every week.
Again, look how I would have. Okay, who is 40? It just happened. I don't remember.
I wouldn't have been.
I know Richard Hatch was number 1.
Right. Yeah, we know that number. Easy.
Okay,
and
so
Tina was number 2.
Let's see. As Janet points out, getting back to Jake here, he had a lot of misses, leaving the keys, not convincing Katora. Puzzle piece stomped all over him, and he kicked him hard. Yes. So, right. So
shoddy challenge building.
blew it with forgetting the key.
That was brutal. I mean.
And that piece that was sitting there, and you could see that he was like so confused, like, what am I missing here? Yeah. And it's like,
well,
no, you're
Jeff
literally
pointed out afterwards.
We were all just dying when we were watching it. We're like, oh my God, I can't look. I have to look away. This is so painful. And then Jeff was kind of like hey, you idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff was kind of a jerk to him.
He was not very, very nice to Jake.
Like,
let me kick you while you're down, because that was someone other than D or Austin had to win that challenge to get one of them out. Because then you make D, you vote Austin out, you make D do fire.
Yeah.
And hope she doesn't win, but I don't know.
Oh man, it would have been awesome if it was D versus Austin in fire.
I was thinking originally that's what I would do, but I said, but the problem is you still have Austin going to the finals, and if D's not
either D or Austin going,
they were the favorites to win.
Yeah,
right.
And I thought Austin had a slight chance, but I said no, D has the.
And as Sherry points out, it was a unique season because Austin had idols and nobody even tried to get him out. Like, I didn't even realize he went through the entire season and never got a vote against him.
Not one.
which is pretty impressive because
one of the strongest, more physical players.
Yeah.
And
On
smart player.
paper.
He's smart too. Good with puzzles and everything else.
On paper, he's a threat. Like he's your classic triple threat going into it, or double threat,
Yep.
social, physical.
Yeah.
Not to be mean, but sometimes
the
people that fall into that category aren't always the brains.
To be fair, though, to be fair, you saw, with the jury results that, I mean, it was neck to neck.
It was.
But Dee won it. I really think that Dee got that one vote more that she needed just because she was able to say, actually, I did tell Julie.
Yeah.
And that was it. And that was it. She had one secret she was able to keep from one of her closest allies because, I mean, they were saying it was going back and forth with each answer. They were, and sometimes the jury likes to say, "Oh, it was a tough call," and you're like, you're full of it. This time I kind of
it was a tough call, but you all managed to make the exact same one.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think
this time I believe it more.
Yeah, I'm like Jamie. I'm like going, whatever. You have your mind made up before you even go in there. But yep. I think it did. Because when Dee said that, you could see Austin's face was like, huh? And it showed that she was actually running. She was in control. She was the puppet master.
It gave her the one more check mark in the column than Austin had.
Yep. I mean, she wouldn't even let him make fire. To give him that, he didn't need it at that point. I don't think him beating Katurah and fire was not going to be that big a deal.
Again, we've talked about this the last 4 or 5 seasons.
No more fire.
Like the fire isn't necessary. Earning the fire is no longer necessary. It was like one time only was it like, ooh, he risked his game for fire, he should win. And that's right. Like, that's not a thing anymore, guys. Stop it. Just stop it. Like, you don't want to have to go for fire. It's not going to be a win that makes you get the game.
Go back to the old Survivor where there's 3 people at the end and the top 2 or the person who wins picks who they want to go with them. And if they want to pick the worst person, that's up to them. They earned it. It just this whole fire making. I mean, I knew Jake or Katurah wasn't going to win, and she was likable. But what was on her resume?
Right.
I think that she may have had a better shot going against Jake. Austin, only because she still had the trump card of like, I am a lawyer, and I think that there were people. And we did see more towards the end, and we saw more of people saying it, like telling us more than just.
Well, I don't think she would. I don't think if she was in the.
She was making moves.
If she was in the final 3, she wouldn't have told anybody she was a lawyer yet.
Not until the very end.
But
she wouldn't have said it till after the voting.
Do you think that she would have, if she was in Jake's place? Do you think she would have gotten a vote where Jake was a 0 vote?
I don't know. I don't know. I think people respected her game more than they did Jake, but I'm surprised that Jake didn't get at least 1 vote because people seem to be receptive to what he was doing.
Yeah,
but he wasn't. But he wasn't successful at it.
He wasn't. But I think that
you can go in there and say, "Yeah, I tried to do this. I tried to do that. I tried to do this." Okay, what happened? I failed.
But he kept going, and sometimes people like that.
Well. I get if it would have been a bitter jury, he had a chance.
Yes,
but it wasn't a bitter jury.
Drew did tell him to not sell himself short. He Drew, of all people, Drew was like, "Hey, no, like don't sell yourself short. Here's where you had your wins."
Yeah, he stayed in the game. I mean, that was pretty impressive. But I think he might have stayed the game too because at that point people said, "Okay, he can't win."
Sherry said I predicted Jake would not get 1 vote, but I did change my answer at the very last minute last week, just before we were going. I said I think that Dee will take it because I thought we'd think it was going to be Jake, Katurah, and Dee was my final 3, and I thought Bruce would send a vote like Jake's way out of respect because Bruce seemed to be that kind of player. Who did he vote for?
He voted
for Austin, and maybe Dee shouldn't have said, "Well, you shouldn't have played your idol then."
Well, I think that's when Dee lost his vote because his face Like that was the one misstep she did make because his face looked like it was if looks could kill.
It's like you just showed me up, and you don't show me up.
Well, and also it was just kind of an in poor taste, like just way she said it.
She didn't. She wasn't joking.
Right.
It wasn't funny. I mean, it may be funny to it was kind of funny, but not to Bruce. I mean,
Right.
Exactly.
It didn't come across as a joke. I went, ooh, D.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, ooh, we've been so good up until this point. Janice said Bruce was kind of a dick. Yeah, we didn't get to see his question, did we?
And we didn't see. Did Caleb have a question?
He started it.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he addressed Jake first. And then we had Kendra, which, by the way, Kendra, I thought Kendra was for lack of I could say a crude phrase here, but let's just say I thought that she was all about D, the way that she was like, I don't know how to phrase this in a nice way, but you all know what I'm getting at. She was basically like, on her nuts about like, oh my God, I thought for sure she was going to vote D. So when she voted Austin, I was very surprised.
I was genuinely surprised as well. I thought that she was like doing that whole like girl role with her, because every time in the jury when there was like something that would happen in tribal,
was nodding and like doing her thing.
It'd be all like, yeah, us girls, we're gonna show them. Like she always had that energy all the time, so it was surprising to me too.
Maybe that's her way of staying in the game.
Yeah, I mean, also,
I think she's just flaky.
She really was like opened up the whole thing with like, what was your spiritual journey? Like what was
And Jake had to go first. He's like,
how did you not
when I broke the obstacle thing there.
Yeah, we didn't finish talking about Jake. So poor Jake.
Jake was okay, let's just be honest. He wasn't trying to get there fast. Jake was having a hissy fit, and he got mad.
He was having a hissy fit, and I think that
Jake was like a 2-year-old there, and he's like stomping on the thing, and Jeff goes, "Hey, if you break that, you're out." Goes, oh! It's like telling a kid, and the kid, what does the kid do? Hits it harder. I mean, I like Jake, but at this point, that was his worst moment in the game.
It's hilarious to me that he is like he has the Owen arc. Like he has the Owen arc. It's forever going to be cemented as that, because it's like they had the same thing where they had all these great ideas, were really smart players, but could not make anything work and were always falling over onto the wrong side and couldn't get their footing. And then they're having like the same outbursts during competitions, and like it's perfect. It's just perfect how similar the two of them are. And as soon as he broke that challenge and I saw Jeff's face, I was like, he's going to get out that rice stabby knife again. You got to run. Like, don't be mad.
But again, Jeff was
Why, Jeff, for breaking that? I don't know what happened. I don't know.
I mean, he was so pissed. I get it. At that point, if I knew I was going to lose and I was literally like 0 for like 45 in things I was trying to do, I might be pissed too, and I might have done the same thing.
I might have been mad at myself, but I guess maybe younger Jack would have done something like that.
Yeah, younger Jack would have like hulked out and like ripped it up with his hands, not his
I would have picked it up and tossed it at Jeff. This is for you. Oh, he's talking.
Just shut up.
Because every time he said something, he said something how Jake had fallen behind, and that's when Jake kind of sped it up, and he tripped over that last one. So I think Jeff got in his head.
Yeah, and he was getting in his own head. But one thing I will always appreciate about Jake is that every single time throughout this season that we would see him falter, whether it was at tribal or during a competition, you could see him get mad, and it almost looked like he was going to be a little bit of a sore loser. And then he'd stop, he'd clear his face, and he'd congratulate whoever was closest to him. Yeah. Every time that it's the drama, it's the theater student thing, right? Like, good job, D. Excellent job, D. You're amazing, D.
D, keep going. You're a challenge beast. D!
When he turned around and faced the water when everybody was trying to finish, he was crying, and I felt bad because he
Yeah.
did put his heart and soul into
I'll
it.
be honest with you. At
Yep.
that point, I didn't feel bad for him.
I felt bad.
He acted like
I
a
did.
child, and I'm sorry.
I felt badly.
Everybody's
Bad, bad Jake. Bad.
Did not think so. Okay.
Take a time out, Jake.
Let's see. Going over to the chat. Oh, Jackson's here. Let's see. So Janet said, loved Emily saying when she voted for D, if you give that boy one bit of that money.
So did I.
Yeah, she saved it for D because her vote tipped it. Because I do think Emily went in there with logic and probably did not know who she was going to vote for.
I thought she was going to vote for Austin.
Well, she liked D's answer.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I get it, but I was like going. Well, Austin Austin made the biggest mistake was he fell in love with the winner, and it just messed his game up.
Well, he wanted her to be his Amber.
Yeah, he fulfilled the prophecy.
He did.
Did he get the ring on him?
To be determined. Isn't he like 20 years old? How old is he? 23?
Yeah, he's
22?
young.
Well, how old is D?
I don't know. D is older, right?
Had it written down at some point, guys, but not anymore. I think
she's 26.
Yeah, I know she's older. I think that I don't know. I'm
age,
curious to see where this one goes because both of them in like post interviews in the last 24
Sherry says
hours.
They're both 26.
Oh, okay. Then they're both 26.
They're
both dating, and they are dating.
Yeah, but they're both like, our relationship I've seen a couple different interviews where they're like, well, our relationship isn't any of your business. Like they're not
they are dating.
Yeah, they're not saying, but they're also not saying that they're officially a couple. D's like, well, we're going to take this really slow because he lives here and I live here. And
how long do I have to keep this going so it doesn't look like I used him?
Yep. Yeah. Or maybe, like when you get out into the great big wide world and you're no longer on an island and there's more people to talk to, the scale changes, right?
We said this a long time ago. He was definitely head over heels.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think D liked him, but again, she was there to win the money, and she played. To be honest, that to separate that from being in love with the guy, I think that's why she deserved to win.
Yeah, that's not something you get to see very often, but it was and as far as showmances go, because I've seen my fair share between Big Brother and Survivor, and Jeff's wrong. They don't have like the most dating turnouts. It's just not true. That's Big Brother's genre.
Yeah.
So Jeff
will
argue with
there's a lot more alcohol involved on Big Brother.
Not anymore. They have to like share a beer that they get once a week. It's pretty sad. But it's pretty pathetic. But the thing is like you have a showmances, and normally it's like, one person just plays for the other person, or they immediately get split up, which should be the rule. But this one was kind of great because they both had their own game in mind and were trying their best to continue their own game to the point where they would argue against each other in the final. So if you're gonna have a showmance, guys, that's the way to do it. Like, you still have to be able to focus on your own game, and you have to be willing to not share the information that is going to hurt you.
Well,
okay.
D didn't share the information, and Austin did. And
again, look what happened.
That was his downfall. I mean, that screwed up his game. It screwed up, obviously,
Drew's game,
and it screwed up everyone's game, to be honest with you, because D had just everything in place to go to and she was good at the challenges. She
really was. She really good.
Especially the ones that were like, everyone she won, she was just excellent at it because you see her. All right, stay calm.
Yep.
Anything that needed focus, she did very well at.
She was very good at it. And
okay, so as Janet points out, Austin was fooled by D, and Emily liked that. So I guess going back to that, I Googled
old Emily came out.
Yeah, but you know something? Emily Flippin, financial analyst. Of course, she's going to tell her not to spend the money on. That's her job, is to tell people not to spend not spend their money.
Invest it. Invest
Okay,
that
so
money,
I
not in
found
the
an
boy.
I found an E! Online article that said they're keeping their relationship low key. Low key means you'll see pictures here and there. So I guess they're dating, but they're not gonna make a big deal about it.
Where does she live?
She's in Miami, right?
Miami.
And he is where?
I have no idea. I did
What?
not read that far down. But I can
I read it, but you know what? I didn't hold on to it. So
not Miami.
I
He
didn't
lives in not
retain it.
Miami.
Yeah, another state.
Not Miami. Okay.
At least a 2-hour plane ride, wherever it is. I'm certain.
Okay, getting back to the chat. Sherry says I saw an interview. They said they didn't connect until day 20. Yeah, they said that in the reunion show last night. Was that in the reunion
Well, they
show
said that they
or
got
tribal?
when they tribes swapped. They're away from each other for a while, and you know.
And that's when she
Austin lives in
realized that
Chicago.
she missed
Chicago.
him.
Yeah, I miss him. Who else can I use? Let's see.
But the tribe swap was on like day 8. Like it wasn't that far into it.
I don't know. I don't know.
It truly wasn't. It's only a 26-day season.
They would have good-looking kids. Not that that's important, but I said if they had kids, they would have pretty good-looking kids.
They are both very
I love
attractive people.
I love though when she was like, oh, and then that's when I realized, and then the like little circle of people around her were like, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, people knew, and they still didn't break them up. And they knew
Which
that
is their
Drew,
mistake,
Julie,
right?
they knew that there was 4 strong, right? And they still didn't break. I mean, they tried. But I don't know.
Yep.
Well, the thing is,
would be
only Jake
different.
really, at the end, only Jake tried. Nobody voted against Austin once. And Dee's, her only vote was when Jake did it?
Yeah, and people just didn't trust Jake.
Which is
He's
strange.
good at
And
selling
everybody
insurance,
thought,
but I guess I don't know.
everybody thought Julie's such a great player. Julie's such a great player. If Julie was such a great player, she would have recognized that it was time to cut D.
Yeah, that was a bad.
You don't put somebody else's game in front of your game, unless you're
at that point she wasn't really talking about games. She was saying, she's my number one. I'm loyal to her. I'm going to stay loyal to her. I can't vote against her. I can't.
Well,
I'm like, well, then you can't win.
Isn't an old strategy, D, to at the end put your closest ally on the jury so they can advocate for you?
Again, Julie just didn't make sense. It's like, okay, I've made it this far. I'm okay.
Dee should have let Julie go without blood on her hands.
Yep.
Which, in a way, she did. When it happened, she did.
Well, no, I don't.
I'm sorry. Julie should have let Dee, like, the way it happened worked out well for Dee because she didn't have any blood on her hands.
Yeah.
But
she didn't have to make anyone mad.
She got what she wanted without having to do the dirty work.
Which is how you play. Well, I guess it worked for her. As Judy says, she embraced the mama role.
My mama would have voted me out.
Mine too. Yeah, mine too.
Mine wouldn't. She would not have. Judy said it's not like she's getting $1 million anyway. Yes, 600,000. Oh, that's what Jay was like. How's she going to retire her parents on 600,000? I was like, I think it might go further in Cuba than here.
Are they still in Cuba?
Well,
I believe so.
And also she's an entrepreneur. She owns her own, like she has a fairly successful company with the backpacking. Yeah.
Fanny packs, backpacks, something like that. Yes.
Yeah. So she can invest that.
She's got a good head on her shoulder. So yeah,
I think she's going to be all right.
Because she didn't talk about winning the game. She never really said winning the game. It was winning the $1 million.
Yes.
I mean, winning Soul Survivor wasn't that. It was the money. A lot of people go, because I would say, me personally, I would say I'd want the money. But I'm going to say every time, I want to win the game. I want to win the game. I want to win the game because I wouldn't want to put the money out there. But again, Dee had this shield. I mean, she was Teflon. I mean, nobody.
Well, I think there's also something to be said for somebody who's just honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right?
She's honest. She was honest most of the time.
That's the thing that Emily had going for her, though. And Emily was like sitting pretty well until she showed that she was capable of being dishonest.
Right. Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, now's the time. We're getting her right now.
Well, to be fair,
she became a threat.
The blunt honesty didn't really work so well for Emily in the beginning.
Right at the beginning. No, ma'am, it did not. And then
Maybe
Well,
also,
got it.
you can't be blunt on. You can't be that honest when you're just meeting people for the first time.
no, you can't.
It's like when someone said to me one time, I met them for the first time, and they said, "You're cutting that turkey wrong." Just saying. I
Did
go,
I say that?
no, it wasn't you.
Oh. Oh, I know who said that. Okay. I'm
I go,
thinking, I'm like,
hello,
oh
my name is
God.
Jack.
I didn't even know how to cut a turkey. I still don't. That's right.
But
I wasn't there
you
when
have
that
to,
happened, and I'm forever
especially if
sad
you have a
about it.
personality like Emily, you can't go in there because you're just going to rub people the wrong way.
Yes.
I mean, luckily Emily made it far because 2 people quit.
Because she had two people quit.
She was receptive to advice.
Oh yeah,
criticism.
Yes. Caleb kept her. Caleb's the reason she's in the game.
Agreed.
Or was still in the game. I should say.
He was the bridge that she needed in order to be able to play that.
He needed her.
Yep.
He needed her to for his side.
You know, another thing that was a rule break, like common rules here, is that with Dee is that she was winning these comps, and we never heard oh my God, she's winning these like all these competitions, like the challenges. She's got to go.
Yeah.
It was never like, oh my God, she's a challenge beast. She's a threat. It was never really a thing that we heard them be concerned about.
I mean, that's the first time they've done one of those things where someone didn't at least spill it once.
Yeah, like she just never once did it fall.
And I said, okay, her size is going to be against her because you're having to go up higher than, I mean, like Austin, who's so tall, he would have a big advantage. But
see, I thought her size would be an advantage until it got to be tall.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. When it got up to the top, she's going to have to reach up.
Yes, but she's not as like lanky as like if some of the taller people I think may have had trouble. Remember I was trying to think of who it was. And then, it took me a minute, but then I got there. It was Sydney, right? Who did that game ridiculously slow and then ended up winning because everybody else ended up dropping. But she was like at like a snail's pace.
That's the key to that game. Yeah, just don't even pay attention to anybody else. Just keep going because the ones that are rushing, they always make a mistake.
I thought for sure Couture was going to win because
she was going so slow.
She got up to like 9, 10, and Dee had like 15. I said, all right, when does Dee drop? Because Jake dropped, obviously. Austin dropped a couple times. He dropped at 1. So I said, okay, nobody goes the whole way. And then Dee, like I said, I like how at 16, she goes, okay. She really stopped there for a second. All right, focus. Turned around and went all the way back. I don't think she came close to knocking it down, did she?
I don't think so.
No, she never had to, there was never a wobble. There was never
Jake
never
got
did
lucky.
Jeff have to say, good save.
Yeah, Jake got lucky a couple times.
Right.
Where he bumped it and it didn't go.
He did. Yeah, and then until he didn't get lucky anymore.
Yeah.
He really was the least suited for that game. But he went
the second furthest. Sort of.
Yeah.
No, Couture did.
All right, back to she went the furthest. He went the second furthest until he dropped.
No, Dee went the furthest.
I'm sorry, Dee went the furthest. That's what I meant, and he got the the second most up there before he spilled.
No, I thought.
Oh my God, it doesn't matter. Let's go to the chat. Okay,
but he was
Couture had that.
He was the first one.
Overall, though, Couture was.
I don't think I've ever seen. No, who broke? Remember, someone had a hissy fit and broke the stick, the pole.
I think it was Owen.
Oh, and that's right. Yes.
2 peas in a pod. These guys.
Emotions are high. Okay. Julie's not in. Janice, I didn't know Julie was in law school. She's not. She went back to law school after she got divorced. Was she tax law, family law, something? I know those are very different avenues of law.
She just said
one
lawyer.
Is litigation, the other is not. What?
She just said, "I'm a lawyer."
Yeah. That was great when she told Couture to go to law school.
Oh my God! Everybody was telling everybody they needed to go to law school, and they were already
Jake
lawyers.
Said he's not a he's not a
defender.
Prosecutor.
He's a prosecutor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because everyone lied, and someone went lawyers.
Okay, because because I kept saying he's an ADA, and then when he said public defender or something, I was like, oh, I guess I was wrong this whole time. I wasn't wrong.
That was probably smart to say public defender, not prosecutor.
Yep, I agree.
Right. Because,
Even though
you know,
we need prosecutors, but it comes across like you're me or something.
but to be fair, public defenders and assistant district attorneys are both government employees that do not make a lot of money.
No, but I
No.
think it's the meanness thing.
Yes, it's the fact that you're prosecuting people for the sake of generally political prosecutions based on what the DA decides to do. Because the ADAs are generally like, my only interactions with ADAs in the legal sense, other than when I worked with them and they were all lovely people, but they were younger, and I had 2 traffic tickets over the last 15 years. And both times I dealt with ADAs that were like, you know, collecting your money for traffic court tickets.
That's what they do.
Okay.
One I trust would be McCoy from Law and Order. That's it. Blum, blum.
Okay. Sherry says, at first it bugged me. Dee didn't reciprocate the trust Austin gave her. Then I thought she had set parameters for herself that if she got into a romance, she wouldn't let it affect her game. So with that as my filter, I respected her. Yeah. She was pretty honest and open about it. Yeah.
She was there to win.
She was.
Bottom line. And like I said, she lied to him. And she just said, I'm sorry. She lied to him a couple of times because she apologized.
Right. And he was so head over heels that it didn't matter to him.
But because I thought, okay, what's going to happen when he comes back to camp? And he's like, okay, let's go down and watch the water and look at the moon.
Yeah, let's stay down here. Let's stay down here longer.
Yeah.
Jake sent a confessional early on. He was lying about what kind of lawyer. Okay. That was bad me that I didn't remember that.
I don't remember. I just remember him crying.
Okay. Let's move into real quick some of the other contestants and stuff that came out. Like, Jeff really likes Drew.
Yep.
Well, I think because I think Drew is extremely smart, obviously, and I think he's good TV. I mean,
and he has an excellent voice for radio. It's kind of similar. It's like a softer version of Howard Stern's voice, actually, I think. But he's got a great way of speaking. He's filled with analogies, and Jeff loves analogies and a great understanding of the game.
Yeah, he does.
Like he's great at narrating what's happening back at camp in a way that comes out like a novelette, you know.
And he was right that they had to get rid of Julie first to get rid of Dee. He was right. He was right the whole time. But Austin had fallen in love, and so I mean, you look at these players. You know, Jake could recite who was in this and that. Like I said, I can't remember who was in last season, and he knew, you know, the numbers and all this different stuff. He was saying, "Oh, remember when someone did this?" I'd be like going, but yet all these smart players, nobody could say, "Okay, we need to break up the couple. We need to break up the couple." What is the number one thing in Survivor now? You have to break up the couple. It's like in Big Brother when there's a couple, you go.
I could see
the couple.
Wasn't the only person that really didn't get how deep the couple was Drew, which I could totally see because, you know, he's kind of nerdy and he's a dude that's into his books in real life, which made me, I was like, oh, I hope that you have more friends in real life.
He definitely saw it when they flew close up to the beach in their helicopter holding hands and going, "Hey, suck. We're fine. You're not."
Which was
he knew.
3 times they did that in the game.
Yeah.
Or
again, I think but I think Drew was loyal to him too, so he didn't really. I don't think he knew he had to get rid of Dee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, didn't happen. So hats off to Dee.
There's also that thing where it's like, this is my number one, but I can see that my number one is starting to bond with this other person, and I've got to get rid of that person. But how do I do it so that I don't make my number one mad at me?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's the exact same thing that Dee and Austin were going through in the Julie situation, but Drew never found the pocket where he could and didn't have enough agency to be able to to maneuver around it, and mostly because he just was like, I'm good. I think I'm good. I think he's gonna pick me over that anyway.
Yeah.
Wrong.
I think Drew would have got some votes.
I think he would have too.
I think Drew would have gotten some votes as well. I don't know if it had come down to Austin, Drew, and Jake. I don't know who would have won.
I think Jake still gets no votes.
Probably.
Well, yes, obviously.
But I think Austin wins it.
Yeah. But
he
like
never-
close, right? Like a close win. Like a
Yeah.
one.
It'd have been close. It probably would have been like last night's vote.
Yeah.
I appreciate that the vote was close last night. It was nice.
What happens
I do
in a
too.
tie? Do we know?
Yes, because Wendell and what's his face had the tie. The third place person breaks the tie.
Oh, that's
Like
right.
when the VP breaks the tie in
that's
Congress.
right.
Yeah.
I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's play
who-
this was the tie. Who does Jake pick?
I think he goes with
Ooh.
D.
No. If I think that he would have gone with D as well.
All right.
If it was Austin and Drew in a tie, I think he would have picked Austin because don't forget, he and Drew had that whole
Yeah.
little
Well, I think
I'm
so
not
too.
a mobster. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice.
Yeah.
Janet in the chat. The only vote Jake will ever get is from Colleen. I would have voted for him. All right.
You know how we always talk about we want to do a first out season?
It was
like
Dominic, Dom and Wendell. They were the ones.
Yes, Dom and Wendell. We could do like a first out versus the 0 votes. That would be interesting. How much do you, as a 0 vote contestant, you could say, oh my God, that's just like a bunch of people that weren't good enough to even get a single vote. Oh, were they like in the perfect position to exactly see how to play out a winning game? Where they missed things.
Most of the time, the third person is just someone that just can't win, so they're dragged to the final. Let's get that. I don't understand why we keep doing. I don't understand why they're still doing.
The fire is just silly. The fire is silly.
Just go back to the 2. I think it's you'd have the 1-on-1. You know, because at one point I'm sure they edited a lot of it out, but at one point Jake was just sitting there.
Is final 3 make it like some endurance that is like it doesn't necessarily favor one sex or the other, right? And then an endurance, and let that endurance run 8.5 hours. Who cares? Do it that way. Just let it keep going. Nobody.
It was Laurel was the third place voter who broke the tie for Dom and Wendell.
Laurel. Okay.
Ghost Island, which was the episode that broke Jay, the season that broke Jay, where he was like, "This whole season sucks, but I like the ending. I never want to watch this show again.
I can't. No more."
Ghost Island. It wasn't the best season. I'll give him that.
No.
I believe. I think that's when John Norton quit after that season too. There were a lot of people that I think tapped out. They were like, "Cool ending." But we have to watch 13 and 12 and a half episodes to get here.
I feel like we're back, though. I don't know. What do you think? I feel like U.S. Survivor is
the ratings were up.
I mean, chances.
The ratings were up, especially for last night's finale. But it's not like they're off the chart. It's not like when it was the first couple seasons.
They're never. I mean, but they're never going to be like that. We live in such an entirely different world.
Right. But they were up a tick. They were. I think it was 4.79 average. I mean, it's good. It went up.
Yeah, I think word of mouth really got around this, because John was asking me yesterday, like, should I catch up and watch it? And I was like, yeah, it's actually a pretty good season. Like,
because it was a
good season. Like,
there was less influence from the producers and more playing by the players.
Yes, and better storytelling by the editors and the longer allotment of time.
And that's what I had said was I didn't think it was spectacular gameplay this season, but I thought that you were rooting for every character. There was a lot of good storytelling, and it made it flow where you kind of forgot about like, oh, I need a big flashy move. Like it was, like you said last week, it was a pagonging basically, or Chandy said it whoever. Yep. It was a pagonging, but you never felt like that because you were into what was going on. Mr. Gott has entered the chat. He said, "Great season, the right winner, best season, new era. 90 minutes is better. Jeff is annoying." He also said, "Hold on. Hurts to say Jack is correct. Final 2 is better." think at this
Yep.
point, there's no reason why we can't go back to a final 2.
Yep.
I think Judy said, I think Jake felt he won by making fire. Fire is so dumb. Fire is so dumb.
I have
You
a
know-
different
oh,
take. I have a
oh.
different take on Jake, though. I think that he just did it because he had such a crappy day.
He
that
needed
was
the
like,
personal
I have to do
win.
something right. Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah,
you know,
he
so
needed it for him.
I get that, because sometimes you're
Mhm.
like, I just need one thing to go right, and I
It's
realize
something
it's
to
not
work
going to
out.
change anything, but I need this for me. And you know
For
what? Power
me.
to him. He
I
took
know
out-
Jeff was happy he won because he was probably worried he was going to burn down the set if he didn't.
We were joking about that. when
I
we
was
were
trying to
watching
make the
it.
fire fast.
We were joking about that. We're like, oh my god, watch Jake, like the wind accidentally make Jake's entire thing go up in
Well,
smoke.
Katura
and
couldn't even
it'll-
get a fire started, so it was like,
no, but wait, let me finish what we were joking about. We were joking
Oh,
last
okay.
night that Jake would get the fire going, but then a gust of wind would carry his fire over. It would land on Katura's rope and burn Katura's rope.
You broke your challenge, Jake. You're out. If you break it, you're
so you're
out.
saying Jake is Schlep? It was Schlep Rock that had all the
Oh
bad
my
luck on the
goodness.
Flintstones.
Oh,
I
poor
don't
Jake.
know.
He's awesome.
I feel like that's a Got, Sherry, and Janet question, not to call you guys out. Sorry.
Well,
That-
it wasn't the original Flintstones. It was the Pebbles and Bam Bam, where they were teenagers.
I was like 7. I don't remember.
It's probably good fun.
Okay, longer season. Judy
Yes.
and Got wanted
Yeah.
longer seasons. Agree. Go back to 39 days.
Yep.
I'm okay with the shorter season.
Yeah,
I-
why?
It's just there you have less. Well, I guess with less dead air, maybe. Slep Rock. That's what it was. Thank you. Got was right. Slep Rock, not Schlep Rock.
I would rather have the longer season because there's something that happens when they're at that last 5-day stretch. It's like their wall. They're all hitting that mental wall. Like that's like the furthest anyone can go before losing it a little bit.
That's true.
And
I forget about
and
that.
it totally shifts the game. Like that last 5 days is usually so exciting because like
Things
it's
happen.
yeah, everyone's like, we got to get out of here. Like, there's something about having the fire under their feet that really makes
That's
for
true. Okay.
great drama.
You guys have. I'm gonna switch to 39 days.
Yeah, but
I
I'm
mean,
not
it's not like there's more episodes, so it's like okay.
Right. Let's see. Janet says, I thought this was enjoyable to watch. I worried about the longer time, but it was fine because people are interesting. I
Yes.
kept waiting for Jake to blow the fire out because he fails so much. Sherry, Jake always had these moments where he made me laugh. Where he would praise himself, followed by awkward pauses with no comment on his narration of himself. I loved that. That was so endearing.
I loved his confessionals. I just
yeah.
he's
He's great television. Great television. But
sorry.
I think if he had to do over again, watching it, he said, okay, I didn't have to make those big moves that hurt my game.
Yeah. But that's good. I would see Jake play again. Oh, did you guys love his Tony impression? Can you validate this for me?
Jeff, you want to see my Tony impression?
You know, he was waiting. He only wanted to get an idol for 2 reasons.
I thought he was going to go
One,
hide behind
have
the
a
bush.
cool idol play, and B, so he could do a Tony Blancos impression.
My spy shack.
Can you see me, Jeff? I knew it.
Oh, but the one
Jeffrey.
thing about the storytelling editing, before I forget, because I thought of this while I was in the shower today and was like, don't forget to say this, Colleen. So
Remember this.
I remembered, thanks to something you guys just said. So we kept seeing the clues that Jake was gonna win fire, right? But we also had 3 episodes ago, where Katura and Jake are talking, and she says, "Fire is so dumb. I wish we didn't have to go to it." And she's the one that ended up losing at fire. So I was like, "Ooh, was that a little bit of a clue?" Because at the time, I thought it was really fun that everybody hates fire, including the contestants, and the editors left it in.
Like, well, she called it.
Yeah,
Better
okay.
show it.
Let's
Again,
take
why
a
isn't
quick.
why don't these people practice fire before they get on the island?
I think sometimes your nerves just get the better of you. Plus, isn't that the bad fire seat? Like Gabler's like the only person that won sitting in that seat, right?
Yep. You don't sit there. That's the bad spot.
So much foreshadowing on Jake and the fire. Yep. All right, let's take a quick commercial break because we need to. And then we'll finish up the feedback in the chat and tally the votes. Here we go.
Okay.
And now we're back.
God, that was a crappy commercial.
It was. I'm gonna have to email them and talk to them about that.
Yeah.
Hold on. I just went to the broadcast email instead of this
I don't know
email.
about you guys.
My bad.
Hold on a second. I don't know about you guys, but on Twitter, they have like more ads on. I'm sorry, the X. They have more ads.
You can call it
ad
Twitter.
for
Nobody
70-year-old
calls it X.
My ad is like every 3 tweets is something for a 70-year-old that invented the new bra.
It is. Oh, really?
It
It
absolutely is. And there's been a few people that are like, I've done everything I can to get rid of this old lady bra, and I just can't get rid of it.
I can't get rid of it. I'm just like going, okay, I'm not a lady. I'm not 70, and I don't wear a bra. Why am I saying this? Why?
I don't get that one. I get a lot of ads now on Twitter, which is odd because like nobody's advertising on Twitter anymore, but they're there in some form.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry I got off on a tangent, but that was the commercial.
That's okay. Okay. Moving back over to the chat, Jackson says, "What do we think about the 2-year renewed contract with the Fijian government?"
I wish they'd move it around, but I understand.
I do too. Jay and I were talking about that last night. Like on one hand, I'm sure it's great for the government, the tourism governments, not governments. What's the word? The economy, wherever they go,
and the environmental footprint as well.
Yeah, it would be nice to switch it up a little bit.
But I always enjoyed when they would go to different places. I mean, again, when they went to Africa, it would be, okay, that'd have been my least as a contestant. That'd probably be my least likely because you get wild animals running around and stuff like that. But it was.
I don't know. The Amazon stuff scares me too, because like the snakes and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't like the snakes either. But it is, again, that's what I love so much about The Amazing Race is it's different countries that you're seeing in different cultures and different things.
Yeah, and think of how the gameplay probably changes too. Like when they went to their new beach, like yesterday they showed the new beach. Sandra tweeted like, "Oh, that was the beach where we did Island of the Idols. I spent 39 days there." So like they are reusing the exact same beaches over and over again. Shani says, "I wonder about their impact on the land to do that over and over in the same spot."
I mean, how many coconuts could there be? I mean,
they're depleting the coconut grove.
Yeah.
Right?
I do.
No, this is where Gabler used to poop all the time.
That's the way there's the poop mountain that what's his name fell off of Matthew, Sling Matthew.
Oh yeah, Sling Matthew. Yeah, that's right.
You know, but now one thing about having the other like the traveling locations too that I miss is even though the art department is really fantastic on this show, I miss seeing the challenges and tribal have inspiration to the cultures of where they're filming.
Right.
And so we don't get to see that anymore either. And I loved that
because they went to Mexico and
they dip into that a little bit, talk about it, or bring something like the folklore tradition into the games, and I do.
Which they did for a little while, didn't they? But they don't go into
They used to visit like a village or wherever they were at, and
they used to do their like fake community service stuff.
Yes,
and I get it. It's expensive,
which is pretty pretentious, to be honest. It was like.
Yeah, so at least the kids were happy,
right?
I know. It just seems to me that I obviously it's expensive to do it, and that's why they don't. They can just leave their equipment in one spot. They probably they have storage units there and stuff. But it just to me, it's like, all right, we're going back to Fiji.
Well, I wonder if also they don't do that for the same reason that they don't do like. Because I know Sherry asked about Ponderosa. We talked about this a few weeks ago. Why they don't do Ponderosa anymore. There's been rumors that have gone around in which there's just been rumors of negative interactions that they don't film it anymore.
But
I
it didn't
wonder
look
if
like it didn't look like this latest group was negative in any way. They look like they got along.
yeah. I would
I mean,
have
you had Kendra going,
loved I was gonna say I would have loved to see bitter Kelly at Ponderosa, and then
Oh my god.
maybe like 2 minutes I could handle of Kendra at Ponderosa.
Yeah.
because she wanted to hold hands the whole time yesterday, and
But I did have this thought,
she was
like,
always in the middle.
is every single person on this, like in this cast, like was the only criteria in casting was like you have to have beautiful eyes.
And teeth, like for the majority of them.
Yeah,
Like D's teeth were she's
they
got
were actually
amazing
they were
dental care.
getting wider. They were getting wider.
Right?
I don't know what she was doing, but they were getting wider.
My son did
She has
ask,
a great smile. I mean, it's just like,
he's like, how are they able to keep their teeth so pretty when they are living on an island? I'm like, they're there for like 8 days. It's not a big deal. They can do it.
there's a dentist off to the side.
We are moving into emails. Yeah, there's a dentist. We haven't seen Dr. Joe in a while. It's because dentist John is there.
It's Herbie from Hermie from the Rudolph the
Oh,
Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Hermie from Rudolph.
Yeah.
I want to be a dentist.
I'm a dentist. Herbie wants to be a dentist. Anti-dentite.
That's what they were watching when I came downstairs. Jay tried to put the little drummer boy on, and everybody was like, "No!" And I was like,
Oh,
"Nah,
I haven't
it's
seen-
kinda
that's the
boring."
best one.
It's okay.
Really, that's the gift you're giving me. Really, I'm the savior, and I get it. You're playing that crappy drum. Okay, go ahead.
And so many lawyers. Yes, you have to have nice eyes and be a lawyer.
But you have to lie about it, which is so hard for them because they become politicians, and
Then everything
Yes.
goes downhill.
Well, okay. Mandy sent us an email.
Mandy.
And she says, I feel like this season was the most like old era Survivor when it comes to knowing who the winner was. Although I did think Jake would get D out at 5 and then Austin might pull the upset. Overall, it was a fun season. I loved hearing y'all break it down and go off on silly tangents all season.
Well, that's what we do best. But Jake did try. It's just Couture.
Yeah.
I still don't.
But it was
understand
Couture.
why. I still don't understand
into
why
it.
she switched her vote. I go, wait a minute. I
And
was
she
scared.
said it was out of fear. She was scared. She knew there was going to be one other Julie thing, and she didn't want it to be like a, you
Yep.
know.
And Jake shouldn't have told Austin he had his idol.
That was a huge
No.
mistake. Big mistake. Huge.
Shouldn't
If
have
he
told
hadn't done
Austin.
that-
Should have told Katura.
Well, that was a funny thing. It was like Austin this whole time.
Well, he
wanted
told
this
Couture he
big-
had an idol, didn't he?
But he
He
didn't
told
tell him.
everybody he had a freaking idol. Everybody but
But he
Dee. And
didn't-
then she found out. 'cause-
Well, I like
But
his
he didn't
strategy
tell
though.
her he was going to play it on her. I love when she's all like, "Well, like, let's take some ownership, Jake."
But I wouldn't have told her either.
Yeah, I don't
Because
know.
nobody can keep a secret other than D.
That's true. Not good at it. Not good secret
But
keepers.
Dee told what's her face, so even she didn't really keep that secret.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, that was just a cluster F of a vote.
It really
at
was.
5.
it was,
the-
it was crazy. It's like, what
I-
is happening?
Everybody knows that Dee and Austin are a pair, so don't tell either of them anything. The end. That's it.
Yes. Yeah. Really, it's simple. It's simple.
Well, you
If-
can't tell Julie because Julie would tell him.
Yep. Yep. If
Yeah,
if
well,
you
and he
if
shouldn't
you
because
know,
Couture told them too. So
Yeah,
everybody
I know.
knew.
I was like,
Jake wants to make this big move. You know how Kelly Wentworth pulled it off? She didn't freaking tell anybody she had an idol.
no.
well, and it's not the first time
Rob.
that Jake's big move was messed up because somebody told Katura, like,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
that a
right,
secret, that something that he wanted to not tell anybody, and then, buddy boy.
I know.
Yeah,
I
because they were trying
know.
to get that was when they were trying to save Caleb, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And she got upset. Who was the other guy? She got upset that they didn't tell him that someone
It was
had an idol.
Austin. I'm pretty sure it was Austin. It
No,
was
it was. I thought it was someone else.
because Bruce had the
Jesus,
idol.
hold
It was
on.
Jake. It was Jake because
What is this?
Bruce got the
No,
idol.
Jake is
Jake
Jake
had-
and Drew.
And Jake knew that Bruce had the idol, but neither of them told Katurah, and so she was all like, "Later, taters, I'm out."
Yeah, that was a dumb move on her part too.
Why
Good
am
thing
I
she's a
struggling?
lawyer. It's a
Oh,
good
'cause
thing
I
she's a
never
lawyer.
Sorry, I don't know if you guys just saw the inception that just happened on this
I
screen.
did see that,
I,
and my
I
little thing
forgot
is still
to.
my little thing is still spinning. So I don't know if I'm really not.
I forgot to break the things up. Here we go. Okay. Let's tally the votes. Let's close this season
No,
out.
I say we just wait till next season.
Nah, Jamie won. That's it. I mean, we know she won. Let's see what she
Congratulations,
won
Jamie.
by. All right, we'll go down the list. We'll start. You know, it doesn't matter at this point. We'll start with Austin. We all had him making the merge, but none of us had him making final three. No points there.
He shouldn't have been in there.
Nobody had her at final three. Jack and I thought she was pre-merge.
Really?
Let's see. Jack gets a point for having him final three.
Jack.
Yay!
1 point. That's it.
Well, you know,
Sucks. Should be like worth 50.
Katurah, she was my final three. Jack had her merge, so Jack gets a point for that. And Jamie had her pre-merge, so Jack is now got 10 points to 9 points to our 10.
Oh, boo.
Kendra, why don't I have Kendra crossed out?
Kendra.
Who am I missing here? Jake. Oh, Julie. I skipped over Julie. And Jack had hers merge. We had her pre-merge. So now going into this final, we are tied.
It was a 3-way tie?
10-10-10.
No.
Wow.
Going into.
Yeah, I know.
the
That's what I
rest of
meant.
it.
Yeah, going into the thing.
So Jamie
cheated.
has 10. Jamie gets an extra 10 points because of her winner's pick. So right now it's 20 to 10 to 10.
That's why I was hoping Jake would win, because that was my winner's pick. Second winner's
I know.
pick.
So Jamie gets what's 1 + 2 = 3, 6, 11, 12, 13, 14. Is that 15? 15 points. So Jamie gets the full 15 here. 20 + 15 is 35, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So Jamie's got 35 points. Jack, you had Katurah at 4, so you get 2 points for that. And Jake at 3. So Jack gets 5 extra points, so you get 15.
Ooh.
God, my math on the fly is incredible right now. I feel like
It's
Austin's
pretty impressive.
solving the math
It's
wordle puzzle.
it's the opposite of Alex waking nightmare. You're nailing this math. You've got it.
And then I got 5 points for picking D last week. Yeah, there we go. I've actually just given myself, what is that, 90 now? Here we go. Is C 100? Yes. Okay. So at the end of the day, it is Jamie with 25, Jack and I both with 15.
Jamie, 35.
35. Shoot. I was doing so well there until I called myself out.
Well, I called you out, to be honest with you.
Congratulations, Jamie.
Yay!
Congratulations, Jamie.
It happens every once in a while. I'm
You
so
took
excited.
my crown.
And of course, David left just in time to not see me take the crown. Jeez, David.
I'm sorry that I don't have an actual crown, but
It's all right. I'm wearing one in spirit. It's fine.
okay. Just know, yes, in my heart, you are the queen.
I really was, guys. I was like jumping up and down. I'm like, oh my God, I just won Survivor. I won. I actually won.
Actually, you know something?
You love me. They love me.
Actually, and you know what? Shandy knows what I'm about to pull out if she's still there. I present to you the Golden Shandy.
Yay! Yes. I always knew I'd have my name on that someday.
And I've always said, really, should that really be golden? I mean, it's, I guess size doesn't matter. That's more of a participation trophy. Not that impressive.
It's character. It's character.
See, there you go, Shandy's. All right, everybody.
I know Colleen never gives it back to anybody.
No, I won the last tribe one and I kept it forever.
It's pretty awesome. You don't want to just send it through the mail willy-nilly. No pun intended.
I'll put it away when my parents sleep in
plane.
this room, but otherwise I sit here and I look at it every week.
You're like, hey, you.
What are you doing later?
I like your shine, kid. You got moxie.
You guys are. It's Shandy. Where did we? Like, who got this? It's so realistic. Like, well, you know what I mean. Like, it's like okay, whatever. This is
Realistic for what?
no. I mean, like not like
There's
Like-
some texture.
like there's texture. Like it's
Yeah.
very like it's veiny. It's veiny. That's what I meant. It's veiny.
It's veiny. Yeah, it's veiny.
It's
yeah,
been
it's veiny.
imprinted.
Amazon. It came from Amazon.
It needs some Viagra. Is what it
Oh,
needs, so.
thanks to Shandy. She ordered the golden Shandy from the Amazons.
The
Nice.
Amazon.
Shandy, we gotta send Jamie her own golden Shandy.
I'll
what would we
open the
call it?
box. It'll
I
be
didn't
like
get anything for winning
it'll be
last
like-
year.
Pulp Fiction. I open the box and it'll just be glimmering gold on my face.
Okay, first of all, you Jack, if you want it when you
No.
win, I will bring it to your house, but
That's all
you
right.
have
I'd
too
rather
many
lose.
children that go into that
Yes,
room.
I know. I'd rather lose. I would play to lose.
Well, someday. Someday. All right, on that note, thank you all. This was a great chat tonight. I love we had so many people here. We'll be back next season, I think. And if next season
I'll do one
sucks,
more.
we won't be
I
back.
thought it was going to be done, but this season was really good. So I thought I'd
Yeah,
And
Jack-
it seriously looks like maybe it looks like Carolyn might have been in charge for casting next season. So I'm really excited to see.
Was that you
these
that
guys.
tweeted that? I said, I think you're right.
They
No,
look,
I didn't see that tweet.
they look awesome. I'm all for it. I'm pumped already.
Because they showed their tapes they send in to
Their little audition tapes. Yep.
yeah, audition tapes.
I saw the audition tapes that they were all sharing on Instagram yesterday, the 45 people.
Yes.
It was cool.
I should share mine.
You should. You should. Maybe that's what it's going to take. Hey, Dee figured it out. You got to use social media to really
I
get
don't know
the
Oh, is that what she did?
Yeah, she got on I think it was TikTok or Instagram and tagged the producer and had everybody reshare, like everyone who saw it reshared
I thought that
it.
was
who
Jay
was
Maya
following
that
it.
did that. That was Jay
Uh,
Maya.
I thought it was D.
Yeah, whatever. It
I
doesn't
think
matter.
it's been
Doesn't
done
matter.
before.
It's been done. Do
Yes.
it again, Jack. Do it
I
again.
tried it on MySpace and it didn't work. I don't.
So this season,
Just
Jack
Tom.
and I were
Tom's the
dragged
only
into
one.
this kicking and screaming because we were like, ugh, 90 minutes.
90
We don't want to
minutes.
do 90 minutes. But you know what? It was fine.
No, I
It was good.
it was fun. You had good, like I said, it wasn't like Colleen said, it wasn't the best strategic season, but it was a good season. It was fun.
It was,
brought
yeah, it
back
was just good
so-
storytelling.
And
Yeah,
and to be honest, I think Gott said it. The person that won should have won.
Yeah.
I agree.
She was the best player, and it's not even
Yeah.
up for argument.
Good job.
All
Dee.
right.
It's one of those seasons where you go, yeah, she deserved it. It's one of those things you can't say. Well, I'm sure some people are picking it apart, but I have no problem with it. She deserved
Well, those
it.
people are fools.
And
Yes.
especially when you watch the next day without commercials, just a full hour. That's right. Because twice this season I watched it the next day because I was
Nice.
doing something on
And
Wednesday.
it's like a
whatever.
20-minute episode, which is nice. So
All right. Well, everybody, thank you again. We'll see you next season. And thanks to the patrons, especially the ones that contribute at a certain level. And that would be Eckhart, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne the Plan, Ed the Creepy Poopy Ed Mailman. If you'd like to become a patron, go to patreon.com/JayandJack. That helps out everybody. If you haven't listened yet and you are a patron, I believe it is open to all patron levels, maybe. The bonus show that Shandy and Jamie and I did as a
the one I
All
wasn't
Girls
invited to.
Alliance on Monday, that is out on the feeds. So check that out too. We had fun. Maybe we'll let you in next time, Jack.
that's okay. It's like that award. You just leave me out.
The Golden Shandy.
Yeah,
Leave me out of this.
Okay.
I'd be
All right,
afraid
well,
I'd do a Frank Costanza on it, and that it would be bad.
All right. On that note, everybody, thanks for listening. The tribe has spoken. Blah, 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 blah. Goodbye. My name is Colleen.
I am Jamie, and if you are watching the reindeer games, head over to Crazy Hanks. David and Christy are going to do our finale in about 45 minutes to an hour of this first season of the reindeer games.
Nice. And it's Crazy Hank. A good job. I forgot to tell you guys, I dropped the TV.
Oh, well, that's what happens when you leave yourself out of everything.
No, I mean, I forgot.
All right.
I forgot to tell you, I dropped it.
All right, everybody. We will see you in February. Bye.
Bye.